Hi everybody, welcome to English Lovers by Honeydee. In this video, we'll be dealing with past perfect tense. What we're gonna do with the past perfect tense is we're gonna talk about the structure as well as the use of it. Okay, what is the tense that we're gonna deal with? Past perfect. Okay. So perfect, we know that what does it signify? It signifies when something is completed in the past tense, but the past perfect is somehow not as equally used as the present perfect is used. So we'll be talking about it firstly in the structural form. Okay, we'll be dealing with the structure, and second we are going to deal with the use of it, use of the past perfect. Until and unless we'll be getting to know how we use it and when we use it, so it's of no use to talk about any of the tense. Okay, let's deal with the structure of the past perfect. So we can make basically four sorts of statements by any of the tense. First statement is the simple statement, that is affirmative statement. With the past perfect also we can make simple statement, affirmative statement. Okay, I'll write affirmative also. Okay, MATIVE. Okay, and second statement that we can write is the negative statement. Okay, then we can write interrogative statement, and last will be negative interrogative statement. Okay, try to understand that. Okay, so we can write four sorts of statements by using the same tense, but we should know that what is exactly the helping verb or auxiliary verb getting used in the past perfect, and what is the main verb, like how we find it out, like which verb is to be used, which main verb is to be used here. Okay, which form of the verb is to be used here. You see, whenever there is a perfect tense only, not perfect continuous but perfect tense, then the main verb always remain. Main verb used to be always, or action verb used to be always past participle, that is verb's third form. Okay, past participle, that is verb's third form. Okay, always the third form of verb would be used in the past perfect or any of the perfect tense only, not perfect continuous. I'm saying main tense here is perfect tense, so perfect tense will always take the main verb, verb's third form, that is past participle. And auxiliary verb, or we say helping verb, helping verb in this case will be had. Okay, had, like if I write I had a cup of tea. Many will be confused that one had is different and other had is different. Okay, like one had here is a helping verb and other had is actually the main verb, the third form of verb. Has, have to be the first form, had is to be the second form, and had again is to be the third form. So third form of verb also it comes as, like when it comes as a main verb. Okay, so basically the helping verb will remain had only. Okay, there is no confusion about subject to be the singular one or the plural one. Either it is singular or plural, only one helping verb you need to remember, that is had. Okay, in case of past perfect only, remember that in case of past perfect only had, then with the combination of past participle, which is the action verb that you're gonna deal with. Okay, now thereafter when we are talking about the structure of it, when we write the simple sentence, okay, firstly we'll deal with the simple sentence. The basic structure that will follow is subject, then helping verb, and then the main verb and the object. Now this is the main structure that we are going to follow. Okay, and helping verb in this case we know that will remain had only, whether the subject is singular, okay, or plural, it does not matter. Okay, it does not matter that whatever subject we have, helping verb will always remain had. And the main verb we know also, like what is the main verb, verb's third form. Okay, let's frame a statement by the same. Okay, if suppose I have written he had completed his notebook. Okay, notebook. Okay, so here we are saying he had completed his notebook. The work is completed. Okay, before some other action to take place, I'll be talking about the use differently. Okay, I'll be talking about the three uses of the past perfect tense later on in the video. So here we are talking about the simple sentence. Here we have subject. Okay, we have subject, then the combination with the with the helping verb. This is had, and verb's third form, that is completed. This is the third form of verb here. Okay, and his notebook altogether becomes the object of the statement. Now after this one, we have to frame the negative statement. We need to remember one thing only in the negative statement. When we write the negation sign in the negative statement, it will come after the auxiliary verb, and auxiliary verb in this case will remain had. So how it will be written? Subject plus helping verb and then negation sign not. Then we are having our main verb and then object. Okay, this is our object. Is not mandatory to be written. It all depends upon the sentence to sentence. What kind of sentence do we write? Okay, whichever sentence is there, accordingly that we see that, like whether the complement is in other case or not. Okay, we see that. Okay, now here suppose I am writing the negative sentence. He had completed the notebook. If I am saying he had not completed the notebook, so here we are clearly depicting the negativity of the statement by the use of not after the auxiliary verb had. Okay, basically in this structure it happens like that only. Whenever there is a negation sign to be occurring anywhere, it will come after the helping verb in case of negative statement. But when it comes to the interrogative statement, we know the shifting of the auxiliary verb with the subject. So auxiliary verb comes at the first place, and then comes the subject, and then comes the main verb, and then comes the object in case of only and only interrogative statement. Okay, and if we are writing a statement which starts with the WH word, only WH word has to be placed before the auxiliary verb. In this case it is had. In other cases it depends, like what kind of tense do we write. Okay, now thereafter, like suppose we are writing a statement with a WH word, we simply have to place WH word before, and then auxiliary verb is had, and then thereafter subject can be any. Okay, singular, plural, it does not matter, subject can be any, so I'll write that only. And then comes a main verb, that is verb's third form, and then comes the object. And when it comes to tell what kind of statement it is, we know that WH word is written in the beginning, then definitely it will become interrogative statement. So this is the way that you need to remember the structure of the same. It's all up to you that how you make it simple. Okay, how you can remember more. Okay, then comes like how we write a statement. Why had he written my name? Why had he written my name on the board? Like complaining about me. Okay, why had he written my name? Okay, why had he written my name? Now converting that into the negative interrogative, we need to remember only one thing, that negation sign's place cannot be altered. Okay, it will remain wherever it was. Only helping verb is getting shifted. So simply, why like here we are saying why had he not completed his work? Why had he not completed his work? So we did not alter any sort of position of the negative word, that is negation sign not. Okay, only had is shifted to the first place and subject came to the actually here in this case it is on the third place, but when the statement is made with the helping verb only, that is had. Suppose the question is starting with the helping verb, the answer will be in the yes or no. But when we are having any WH word beginning any sort of interrogative statement, whether it is a negative interrogative or the interrogative itself, then the answer would be in a different sort of terms, like you can give the reason, you can talk about a thing, you can talk about time, depending upon kind of WH word we are using in the statement. Suppose we are talking about when had he not completed his work, okay, so then we are talking about the time. So it depends upon the kind of WH word we use when we make a statement by the like a past perfect one in case of interrogative statement, negative, interrogative, whatever it is. So now this was all about the structure of the past perfect. Now we'll be dealing with the use of past perfect one. Okay, we'll be talking about the use of the past perfect one. I'll be talking about 3 uses of past perfect. So let's go by that. The first use of the past perfect tense is to refer to the earlier event. Suppose there are 2 events happened in a close relation to each other. For example, the patient died, the doctor arrived. Both the tenses are carrying the past indefinite tense here, but we are not actually talking about past perfect tense, these 2 sentences. Now let's compare the past indefinite usage when we are having a connector with that, and when we are making it in the past perfect, like how the sentence meaning gets changed. I mentioned that the patient died, the doctor arrived. If I say the patient died when the doctor arrived, okay, it means that the patient died at the moment the doctor arrived, at that particular time when the doctor arrived, okay, during that span of time the patient died. But when I say the patient had died, okay, when the doctor arrived, okay, or if I say something in relation to that, the patient had died when the doctor arrived, here the meaning is little bit different. How it is, like when I say the patient had died, that means the patient had already died, okay, and then when the doctor arrived later on, that means one event happened earlier. When the event happened in the sequence, like whatever is the earlier event, it comes in the past perfect one. We try to use it in that sense. Like suppose the 2 events happened in the close relation, we talk about the past perfect in the first event, and then we use the other tense in that case. Okay, so this is the first use of the past perfect. The second use of the past perfect tense is the equivalent of the present perfect. Okay, whenever we try to change from the present to the past perfect tense, we try to use the past perfect. Okay, suppose in the example we have Mary is curious because she has never been to the dance floor. Okay, when we convert that into the past perfect one, so we have to just keep in mind we are changing that into the past form. So Mary was curious because she had never been to the dance floor. Been here is third form, be was been. Okay, so whenever we try to convert from the present to the past form, we use it. Okay, and another way to use it is to emphasize on anything, like I had already completed my homework. Like when I'm trying to tell the completion of my action to be properly emphasized on, if I say I had completed my homework, I had already completed my homework. So when I'm mentioning that means the completion of action is done with the proper emphasis. So that is the second use of the past perfect tense. And the third use of the past perfect tense is when it comes to the unfulfilled hopes. Okay, like for example, when somebody expects somebody to do some task, or somebody thinks, okay, that something will happen, but it did not happen, or it does not happen. So for that sake, like for an example sake, if I say I hoped that, or I had hoped you will complete your work, but you did not. I had hoped that means I had a hope, like which is unfulfilled, which actually did not get completed just because somebody was careless. Okay, or if I say that I had expected you to complete this work, but you did not. Okay, so in that case also we can use it. Okay, another way of presenting the past perfect is by the people actually. How they think so is that the past perfect can be utilized for an action that has happened long time ago. But for the actions happening long time ago, we already have a tense, that is past indefinite tense. And for example, if I say Mahatma Gandhi died on 30th of January 1948, there the long time event has been explained by the use of the past indefinite tense, not the past perfect one. Remember one thing about the past perfect: whenever there are the closely knitted together events happening now and then, like nearby, then the first event will be explained by the past perfect one, and the second can be any other tense, but the first event will be explained by the past perfect one. Other event can be explained by the past indefinite, but the first event will be by the past perfect one. Okay, so this is it about the past perfect tense. I've explained the structure, the use of it, as well as like whatever the minutest of the details of it. If there is any sort of query on your part, you can just give me your suggestion and your queries in the comment box, and subscribe, share, and like the videos if you like the videos. So thank you very much. Time to say goodbye. Bye bye.